family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth. Brothers but not by birth, family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth.
Why do you get to get added first?
I have to add myself first because my name's on the left. If I added you first, they'd be flipped.
But we can easily flip them back. I mean, it's just as simple as that.
Okay, here. I'll add you first. After I sit here for a second and I talk for a while.
See, now he's just making things difficult. You're just making things difficult now. Why you got to go and make things so complicated?
I don't know. Who was that?
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne, that's right.
Why you got to go and make things so
last
complicated? I see the way you acting like you're somebody else makes me persuaded.
All right.
All right, there you go. Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to sing this week on the recording. I
think it was overall, personally. But
no, it was the recording.
Well, everybody, whether they watch or whether they listen, everybody's involved in it. I think it should be the whole thing.
Okay, so from here on out, I won't sing.
We'll see if that happens.
We'll see.
We'll see.
One of the toys that made me was not a karaoke machine, so
you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. Wait, Carrie said, "Oh, never mind. That's the green screen." What green screen are you talking about, Carrie?
The one behind you.
Well, this is my bookshelf.
It's your Joe Biden look.
Oh, I get it. Carrie said, "Wait, where is Dave?" Oh,
yeah, because okay. It was just me.
No. He thinks I'm in a different room because he's been to my house.
Got it. He actually, Eric, I hate to tell you this, but those shelves did not get destroyed. They're actually installed right behind Dave right now.
Yeah, they're right here.
That's where they went.
Eric asked, "Why isn't he on this week?" It's not a game show, buddy. So
We have you in the
No.
comments.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Eric's wheelhouse. I mean, Eric is the king of the collectibles, the king of the
Toys.
collectibles. Well, okay, so talking about the toys that make us, and we'll make this distinction on the show itself. Talking about the toys that make us, these are toys that we actually played with, and you know, like your dad said, toys.
Yeah.
Toys that we actually play with, not my collectibles. Dadgummit, my stupid green screen is not working with me tonight. Okay, it's better. It's better.
It's better.
Okay, we're back now. We're back. Okay,
So funny.
yeah, that is weird. We're having
Too
a
much
little issue.
black. I think you're wearing too much black. I think is the problem.
I think I wear black all the time, dude. That's kind of my color. Black and red. Those are my colors. You'd think I was a Georgia fan.
Ooh, thank goodness you're not.
I know, right?
Mm.
But so before we start talking about the toys that make us,
Yeah.
there were two big things that happened today, I think. One that came out today that we're going to have to talk about.
Yeah, that one came out today. The other one's been out for a while.
About a week. Do we talk Mandalorian first or do we talk the coaster first?
It's not a coaster, it's a churro stand. That's the running joke. Sorry, I hit you for a loop on that one. That's the running joke in the pass holder group on Facebook for Universal.
Yeah.
Is they posted a picture of the Velociraptors coming in on trucks,
Yeah.
like just wrapped in plastic, like it wasn't even hidden what it was. It was literally just a shrink wrapped Velociraptor. And the Twitter account for Universal and the Facebook account both were like, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. And they're like, what is that, churros? And so now it's not a coaster, it's a churro stand until they officially announce it, you know,
So
an opening day.
I was going to say, if they haven't officially announced it, why do we have a ride?
Well, they've officially announced, I mean, like until it opens and they've like put the sign up and everything. For all we know, it could be a churro stand is the ongoing joke.
Okay.
So.
Eric said, speaking of black and red, tell everybody what you ordered today. I did order a new Funko Pop. It's Michael Jordan holding a ball in his old Bulls warm-ups.
Nice.
So that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My sixth Michael Jordan Funko Pop.
Fantastic.
I might be a tad bit of a Michael Jordan fan.
Yeah, I started running out of space too. I got you keyed me in on a deal for one the other day I couldn't pass up. I got the
I know, right?
I got Venkman and the Ghostbusters Firehouse for $10.
And it's already at your house. That's shocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got here in 2 days.
That's
Looks
crazy.
pretty good. Yeah.
All right. So let's basically what we're going to do here is a preview of what we're going to do on Patreon. We're going
Short
to
preview.
A short preview. We're going to watch the Mandalorian trailer and we're going to kind of do a little running running commentary of what we
Sure.
think. So, Adam, can you share your screen?
I can't. I have to find the Mandalorian link you sent me because you sent me that very early today along with 105 other things. Hang on.
I didn't send you that many things today. I was working today pretty hard.
That's a good one. All right, I'll just Google it. Fill in the space with some words, Dave.
Some words. Well, here are the words. This is the way. The child. He is not Baby Yoda.
All right, here we go.
And this is going to be awesome because, little known fact, there is a wrestler in this clip.
I can see why that fact is little known. All right.
Yes. Make sure you share your volume.
It doesn't give me an option to share my volume.
Yes, Carrie says Sasha Banks.
All right, can you hear this?
No.
You can't hear that?
No. You haven't. So when you click to share on the click to share.
I clicked that. Let me try it again.
Okay. Carrie also says the
There we
roller
go.
coaster, it's just a third-party group that pieced the video together off pieces of the ride already installed.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of computer animation type folks just doing it on their own. All right, here we go. Can you hear this?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
Turn up a little bit.
I want them to be able to hear us too.
That's true.
Space. The final frontier.
So I
His
think
ship needs a little bit of work, man.
well, I almost want to say that's the Ridge liner, whatever it is, the
Wait.
ship. That's what's his name's ship.
That's the Mandalorian ship.
No, I think that is Boba Fett's ship.
That's not the Slave One.
Are you sure?
There's no way that's the Slave One. Come on.
Okay.
Dave.
Okay. Well, hit.
Come on.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, here we go. Are we going to have to watch Empire Strikes Back now?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. I'm going to back it up so that we can see that it's not Slave One.
Okay.
And also so we can hear what she says. She says something right here. Looks like Jupiter.
Going to Earth.
Yeah.
Show me
Throat
the
singing.
one safety deemed such destruction.
He's so cute.
And
Must
cuddling.
reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This
So
you must
Tatooine.
determine.
Yep.
The songs of eons
Hoth, I don't know.
past.
That'd be my guess.
Battles between Mandalore the Great and an order
I'm
of
impressed though.
sorcerers
This is
called
one thing I've
Jedi.
never seen in Star Wars is like a port,
Sasha
like
Banks.
water.
You expect me to
Sasha
search the
Banks.
galaxy
That was Sasha
to deliver
Banks?
this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers.
I love this part.
This is the way.
Oh, this isn't my favorite part.
So hang on. This is one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen a seafaring vessel in Star Wars before.
You saw it in Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. When they're going,
yeah. But it's rare though.
Yeah,
Very
it
rare to
is.
actually see a seafaring vessel. Anyway,
It is.
I think that's really cool. In X-wings. Oh my gosh.
Four engines. Pod racing.
No pod racing.
You know this is no place for a child.
Want to go pod
Wherever I
racing?
go, he goes. So I've heard.
This is my favorite part.
yeah. He's a bad dude, man.
He
This
is.
is the way.
So good.
All right.
All right, so hang on. This part right here, right here.
Yeah.
I know that's probably the ship, but that reminded me a lot of when Chewie was
Yep.
down in was it Jabba's palace?
It was Jabba's palace. Yep.
Yeah. And then this, where's the X-wings? Can't find the X-wings. Hang on.
It's right there. You just
Reminds me a lot of like Bespin.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like
that's right. Carrie hasn't watched season 1 yet.
really.
Yeah, he was going to try to do it all in order. I don't know why he hadn't done it yet.
Oh well.
But so here's my question.
Yeah.
This is between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens,
Force
right?
Awakens. Yes. Yeah.
So technically the Jedi are not supposed to be around.
Well, but this is right after Return of the Jedi.
But the Last Jedi was Skywalker.
No, it's true, but by the time you get to Force Awakens, it's been like 30 years since Return of the Jedi. And so it was more like a myth because like a whole generation has passed. But this was like a couple of years, like a few years after Return of the Jedi. So it's still fresh
Yeah.
that the
So
Jedi are a thing.
Yeah. Jeffrey Martin says that was Rosario Dawson, correct? No, that's actually Sasha Banks.
We're going to hear her name 60 more times. Say it one more time.
No, Sasha Banks, who is Snoop Dogg's cousin, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But Rosario Dawson is in this show. She is Ahsoka,
Yeah.
which we're going to need to get more canon because Ahsoka is supposed to be in Clone Wars. She is in Clone Wars. Dadgummit, my stupid mic. She is in Clone Wars.
She is.
So her storyline, her story arc overlaps the entirety of the Star Wars trilogy. When does she die? What I mean, I need to know more about Ahsoka.
Yeah. I am happy to hear with this one, though, somewhere excuse me, coffee. I read that we finally figure out in season 2 where we get insight into how Maz Kanata got a hold of Luke's original lightsaber or his dad's lightsaber.
Yes.
It's like,
so looking
but at
forward
the
to
same time, look, I love Star Wars as much as the next guy, but do we have to have TV shows fill in those gaps for us? Shouldn't the movie have done that?
Yes.
I mean, you
but-
know,
And this
I mean,
is,
I'm totally jazzed about it. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, this is where you and I have a little bit of differences. I think Disney didn't do it right. Disney's great company, but
well played.
JJ should have done all 3 movies.
Yeah.
And he should have written them all out at the same time. Because, oh, JJ, you write the first one. Ryan Johnson, you write the second one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who was supposed to write the third one. And they didn't even know what they were doing until they saw the movie.
Yeah. Well, and the problem you ended up with is Force Awakens was good. It was solid. Still too close to a lot of parallels from A New Hope, kind of the same story arc and everything. But then you make Last Jedi, and it was so, I've never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no, but I don't dislike it. But you have Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson makes it. I thought that was a really good movie, but now you've got to cancel all of that stuff out because fanboys. And so now you have to make a third movie to cancel the second movie after the second movie canceled the first movie. And you end up with just disjointed. And I don't have a problem. Here's my thing. I don't have a problem filling in the gaps in books and things like that. The problem is when you get Force Awakens to come in after so long with having a movie, that the movies are how most people are going to consume their Star Wars canon.
Right.
And if you're filling in major plot points in small little sub stories here and there, you're going to lose 50% of the people. The fanboys are going to love it. But
right.
you have to find a way to make that available to more than just, but again, The Mandalorian's been so successful. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the way, no pun intended, that a lot of Star Wars fans get their content from now on.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
all right. Vance Cope makes a great idea. Movies can only cover so much before they become tedious.
It's true.
Downside is there's so much canon stuff to fill in the gaps. If you don't read all of it, it becomes confusing. He's right. Star Wars, because they waited so long to do 1, 2, and 3, and then another 20 years to do 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
They had to have books.
Yeah.
And now Disney's come along and said, oh, Plagueis isn't canon yet. This person isn't canon. This book isn't canon. So,
that's not a bad idea. Because I read a lot of the books, Splinters of the Mind's Eye and the Mos Eisley stories and all of those things. It got pretty crazy where anybody who was in science fiction got a chance to write a book for Star Wars. And it got just where it was just too much in a bad way. I think if you look at a Harry Potter was a fully developed world. Stories 1 through 7, the entire story had an arc before anybody, even in her mind at least, it was there before anybody even made a movie about it. She knew where she was going to go with it. Right. I think the problem with Star Wars, it was really just the adventures of Luke Skywalker when George Lucas wrote it. And they made this movie, and it was the first story. And holy cow, look what we have on our hands. And they did a good job with Empire in Return. And then you try to make it more out of it, and you're literally making it up as you go along because it doesn't already exist.
Right. Well, Lucas had an idea about 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, he had an idea.
He just couldn't do it in the 70s and 80s.
Exactly.
And then he tried to overdo it in the 90s. But we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. We got one more thing to show you guys. Actually, no, we're going to do this in the post show. We'll do the Velocicoaster in the post show.
All right.
So for those of you who wondered what we were doing, that's kind of a preview of our what we're going to do on Patreon. If you are a patron, sibling, we're calling them siblings, right?
Sibling.
If you are a sibling, $5 a month, www.patreon.com/unrelatedbirth, $5 unrelated birth.
You're singing.
But we're not podcasting yet. Okay, fine. $5. But we're going to we watch a movie, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style going off. We're trying to decide when we're going to do it. Very soon, we're going to have Eric join us for one. But I don't know. We'll figure out when we can do it, how we're going to do it. But all right. Adam, are you frozen? Y'all, Adam's frozen again. Yeah, his fan is sitting still. Let's find out where he is, y'all. Dope dope do. Wonder what's going on with his internet connection, because mine's working, I believe. Are y'all all hearing us still? Or is it me? No, it's definitely him. So, Bunny, what Virgil? Why'd you say Bunny? Fuzzy Bunny. But anyway, so everybody having a good week? Because hush, Vance. Where's the bunny? I don't have a bunny. Hey, Jeffrey. Hope y'all are having a good week. This week we are going to be talking about the toys that made us. Basically, it's if you've watched anything on Netflix, it is the show about basically toys from the 80s and 90s. I can go tell you that judging by a lot of the comments that we got on Facebook about how we're going to do this show, a lot of you were raised the same way I was with the same toys. There is two that I'm going to mention tonight that y'all haven't mentioned, and I'm a little shocked. So when Adam gets back and we start recording the podcast, I'm a little shocked that no one mentioned any of these toys. So yeah, this is a little weird. I can talk to the walls, but when I'm by myself on a podcast, I have to have somebody talking back with me, and y'all aren't talking back with me. I need my phenomenal brother to talk back with me. Adam says he can still see and hear me. He's going to jump out and jump back in. So give me a second. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to try. Actually, we're going to end. Actually, I don't think we're going to. No, Vance, it was not soccer. Carrie says the Ninja Turtles figures and all fun vehicles were the toys that made him. Well, that and Hasbro wrestling figures. You know, Hasbro wrestling figures, I had my share. I had the Ultimate Warrior. I had the Bushwhackers. I had, who else did I have? Big Boss Man. And I had Hulk Hogan, of course. Hey, look who's back.
Hey.
Back again. Adam's back. Tell a
Hello,
friend.
friend. You're singing again.
That's not singing. I was rapping. Rapping.
It's a good indictment of boy band music. Thank you. Or that was rap. That was shady. Sorry.
That was shady, man. Come on. All right. So you could still hear me, but you couldn't see me?
Yeah, it was still rolling, and then it threw that error up that I sent you that said it's not your fault, it's ours. I was like, okay. Well, either way, I need to get back, so fix it.
Right. I'm glad we weren't recording, actually. All right.
Me too.
You're the one that has to get off here pretty soon. Do a short.
We'll see.
Yeah, early works.
Early
All
works.
right. Oh, that's a museum here in Huntsville. Not a sponsor.
Early Works?
Early Works Museum. It's a history museum.
Interesting.
Kids history museum. But anyway, all right. Virgil says, Adam, can you tell who the bunny is? He says it's a Disney movie. Where is the bunny? Bunny.
Where is the bunny?
I have no idea. Your dad is on his.
I don't know. I don't know that I can tell you who the bunny is.
Do we sit here and just wait?
Yeah, because I got to know.
Okay, Muppets.
Oh, Bunny! Hey, Bunny! Muppet.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Oh, we actually, I did that. In August when I was down there, just because we were trying to waste some time.
Oh, I love it.
But it's so dated.
How so?
Oh, dude,
the Muppets are the Muppets.
Yes, but it looks the exact same as it did when it first opened.
And isn't it great?
Yes,
isn't it great?
It is
just a piece of something that hasn't changed. This isn't the other show day. Isn't it great?
It's great.
I'm just
top of the world.
Top of the world to you.
Okay. So, if I move out of the shot.
My favorite part of that is Statler and Waldorf.
That is funny. Okay. We need to start recording.
Wish they'd move it to Pittsburgh. Am I delaying us, Dave?
You are delaying us. We hadn't even started recording yet. All right. Stop laughing. All right. I was starting the show. And
Click the buttons. We determined that last week. You know, clicking the buttons.
3.
Hey, Jeffrey, there's still time for a Sweetums meet and greet. You never know.
Not right now.
Don't lose hope. He could stand outside on a platform like they're doing and just wave at you.
That's true. All right. 3, 2, 1. And welcome back into another Unrelated at Birth. I am the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, all the way from the top of the state of Alabama in Madison, Alabama. That's right. I am the one, the only, Dave Adams, here live in the Unrelated at Birth podcast studio. And as always, I have brought along my friend, the great, the phenomenal, the brother, Adam Russell. The phenomenal brother.
There you go. That's me.
We have our own t-shirts now.
We do. It's exciting.
We should each wear one of those shirts. Like when we're recording, I should wear the Human Jukebox shirt and you should wear the Phenomenal Brother shirt.
Okay. That sounds good. Just ship me one.
I mean,
I have an in, don't I?
Yeah. I mean, I'm coming down there in like 16, 17 days.
That's true.
Just
you counting down, huh?
I'm coming. Well, I've got one of those little apps. Yeah. Every day, Ellie's like, Daddy, how many more days? Daddy, how many more days? She's my kid. So
of course, yeah.
in many different ways. But anyway, it's just, we should wear the shirts. We should support.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Let's
support a state affair boutique.com/unrelated at birth.
It's a good plug.
Hey,
we sponsor ourselves now.
We do.
I love it.
So anyway, what are we here for tonight, Adam?
We're here for a podcast, Dave.
Well, okay.
We're here. The memo?
We do that every week, but what are we talking about this week?
This week, we're talking about the toys that made us, the things that we liked playing with and doing when we were kids that don't include Funko Pops because those aren't toys.
They're not toys. They're collectibles.
And they weren't around back then either.
No, but what's funny is I have Funko Pops of some of these toys that I've actually... Yes, I do have Funko Pops of some of these toys that I played with when I was kids.
That's awesome.
I'm looking at least 1, 2. Yeah, I'm looking at least 3 of the Funko Pops I've got.
2, 3.
3. Ha, ha, ha.
3.
Oh, 80s cartoon commercials.
I was going more Tootsie Pop commercial, but
that's why I was going.
Same thing. You're doing the count. You're doing the count from Sesame Street.
Well, okay, they can kind of. I think
it's the same. It's all good. The same era.
Were they the same voice?
No.
Okay.
Not even.
Well, before we do that, we can talk about the things that make us as adults, and we got some good news this week. Do you like that segue?
Yeah, I have no idea. What are you talking about?
What do we like to do every year about this time?
Oh, that. Yeah. We like to go to Halloween Horror Nights. R.I.P.
And, well, or is it?
Or is it? Yes, there will be 2 houses this year.
And
I'm getting conflicting reports on when they're going to be open, though. Some say only during the weekend, which is going to be a madhouse, and I am not signing myself up for that.
No.
But then I've heard some say that if they reduce the number of days they're open during a week, they might open them during the week, too. So we'll have to see.
Which I'm going to need them to be open on the week. I'm going to need it open on Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
The 7th.
Yep.
Because I will be there. And I'm actually buying 1 day park. You can't call it park hopper.
2 park passes.
2 park passes, which are not cheap.
We'll buy an annual pass.
I know. Well, I looked at it. I was going to do 2 park passes. And we're going to do Harry Potter World and all that fun stuff. Yes, Vance, I will drink pumpkin spice juice or pumpkin juice or whatever it's called at Harry Potter Land.
Butterbeer?
No, they have pumpkin juice too.
Yeah, they have pumpkin juice. It's not as good as butterbeer, though.
No, it's not. But I will ride Gringotts. Ellie will be able to ride Gringotts. We'll see if she can do if she'll do the Forbidden Journey. I know she's tall enough to ride it, but it's a little brain scrambler.
She should be. Aiden likes it.
Okay. Does Emma like it?
Emma hasn't been on it yet. She's just barely gotten tall enough now.
Maybe with Ellie coercing her on, she'll do
we'll
it.
See. I don't know that I'd put her on it, but I said the same thing about Hagrid's, and then when she was finally tall enough, we're like, "Oh my gosh, we have to do it now!" And she
Right,
loved it,
all right. You're the one that told us we have to do.
you have to do
Journeys. So, yeah. So, but anyway, so Bride of Frankenstein, and then what was the other house? That
Revenge of the Tooth Fairy.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that I saw on the list. I'm like, why are we having this one?
And you kind of balked at it, yeah.
Yeah, which I'll probably balk at this. I'll do it. Do they know what sound stages it's going to be on? I know Bride Frankenstein is at the Universal Monsters house, or the Universal Monsters sounds. Oh,
No.
The pictures I saw made it look like that.
No, the frames for the wait time signs, the Bride of Frankenstein is out in front of the stage where Ghostbusters has been and where Stranger Things was. And so that's the main sound stage right behind, right underneath Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah.
It's usually where that queue goes. The queue for Revenge of the Tooth Fairy is over around the corner by Race Through New York with Jimmy Fallon. And it's where Poltergeist's queue was last year or the year before.
Okay.
And so that's usually, there's several sound stages back there though, so it doesn't mean it's one of the big ones. I think it's in there where you could still, you could, if they wanted to do it during the day where they kept Race Through New York open. I don't know if you remember the queue for, what was it? Yukon. I can't remember it.
Yeah. The Yeti.
Yeah. The Yeti one. You actually cut through Jimmy Fallon's queue for that one. It could be in that smaller sound stage for that one.
Yeah, but I don't think they do that because I think they'd still have Jimmy Fallon's open.
No, but that's what I'm saying is instead of cutting through that queue, you could go around Jimmy Fallon's queue and come in the same door, just not use Jimmy Fallon's queue.
Yeah.
If it was
Jeffrey Martin. Wait, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's going to be chasing people in a tutu?
Nice. Good Tooth Fairy reference.
I mean, that is a scary movie because it was horrible.
Yeah, right.
So we could be doing that. Yeah. So here's the other thing too. Ellie's not tall enough to ride Rip Ride.
Yeah,
so,
that's probably for the best.
Really?
Dude, that's a big one.
Dude, she did Tower of Terror.
That doesn't compare to Rip Ride Rocket. Rip Ride Rocket is like a Busch Gardens level roller coaster. It beats you around a good bit.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's a different level than Tower of Terror.
All right. So also, I owe you pizza fries, don't I?
Yes, you do.
And they have pizza fries.
They have them at Louis.
At Louis. Okay.
Yep.
So, and I think we're going to have to eat lunch at Finnegan's just because, right?
So we're staying there until we're having pizza fries and lunch. That's a lot of food, man.
Dude, we're on vacation.
That's true. But yes, we have to stop in Finnegan's, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because.
See, now you're making me sad, Dave.
And dude, just for old time's sake, should I be on my phone watching a video of a football game?
The whole day while every queue we're in? Sure.
And as we get to a house, wait, I can't go in the house yet.
Yep.
So, all right, Blair. Yep, Rip Ride is rough. We won't even let Aiden ride it yet. He wouldn't do it anyway, though.
That's true. We're getting him close to the Hulk, though, I think.
Here's the question. Would Aiden go through Graveyard Games?
Aiden's going to do one of these two houses with me.
You going to let him do Tooth Fairy or Bride of Frankenstein?
I'm going to let him choose, but he's going to do one of them this year. I told him he doesn't have a choice. So he has an opportunity to do it. We don't have to buy a special ticket. And it's light outside and there's no scare zones everywhere or anything like that. We're doing it.
So if he likes it, is he going to be part of HHN 30 with us next year?
We'll have to see. He'll be almost 12. So we'll have to see.
All right. That I'm looking forward to that. That'd be fun.
Now, will he like it? I don't think he will.
Okay. Well, I remember when he was like, was he 10? No, he was 9. He was 9 then when you and I went for the first time, and he was so mad that he didn't get to go.
Yes, he was. And then to make it up to him, I took him to the Trail of Terror. There's a nature park here in town where they do a trail back through it. And it literally just scared the crap out of him the whole time. Like tears. And the difference is, though, here they get really close to you because it's a bunch of teenagers volunteering for the Parks and Rec. and they were enjoying hearing him scream. So they were getting down in his face and stuff. So that's a different experience than this.
Yeah, but characters enjoy hearing people scream.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though. This year, what I read, though, is they're going to space everybody out in the queue, and they're only going to let one party in at a time and then space you out, which I think is great because you're going to be sure to hit the timing on everything. Usually, but here's the thing. There's going to be anywhere where a scare actor is, there's going to be plexiglass.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
No, I read that online. Now, whether or not it's completely true, I don't know. But they said there's going to be plexiglass anywhere there's an actual scare actor. So you won't be like, oh, there's a scare. Oh, I'm like, I know, Dave, we can see the plexiglass.
But that's dumb. That is stupid.
Well, it's what it is, man.
The fact that they can pop out and pop their head at you, that's what makes it scary.
Well, maybe they get creative with it. I don't know.
Maybe it's just going to be a lot of screens.
Well, I mean, that fits.
I mean, it does fit Universal's MO, right? All right. So before we get all the Universal people mad at us, let's talk about the toys that make us. I don't know if you've watched the Netflix special. Have you?
I have not. No, I've watched the movies that made us. A couple of those, but not the toys one yet.
Yeah. So they go through, I think there's 3 per season. Power Rangers, Star Wars, there's G.I. Joe, Barbie, which no. There's, I think, My Little Pony. I was never a brony, but it's so cool because it talks about the backstory and how they came up with all these things. I think Hot Wheels was one of them as well. So I've been on a nostalgia kick lately, and I don't know why, but I think it's cool to talk about the toys that made us as kids and how it kind of shaped our pop culture love today.
Yeah.
So, Adam, let's just throw out when we talk about the toy that you played with the most.
Oh, the most. Whew.
What comes to mind?
So many things. When I think about what I had the most of, let me plug in my laptop really quick while I'm talking so it doesn't die. When I think of what I had the most of, I probably had, when I would play with them, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I probably had the most of. And I can remember playing with the Ooze and the Turtles and Shredder, and I had like all the different variations of the Turtles and everything. But what I remember the most was Christmas, opening up the pizza thrower, the car that they'd ride in that would shoot pizzas out of it.
Yeah.
And the pizzas were these hard plastic discs, and man, that sucker shot them out at probably 30 miles an hour. And I remember us all being like, yeah, no, this is going to break or hurt somebody. Yeah, look at this, But I remember that, and I had this big toy box and had them all stuffed in there, and I've still got a few of them. But that's probably what I had the most of when I was growing up.
So I was definitely Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
When the cartoon came out first.
Okay.
And I had
the real Ghostbusters.
I had the house, I had the slime, I had Slimer, I had all 4 of the Ghostbusters. I had Ecto 1. My grandmother even made me and my brother. She made me. Hey Blair, she made me the Ghostbuster outfit. Yep. Like we had the Ecto pack or whatever it was called. We had the little thing the proton pack. We had the thing that you threw on the ground that caught all the ghosts. We'd go out and play around with Ghostbusters. We had, I think Nerf even made a proton pack that it had the little thingy at the end. It looked like it was the protons coming out. We had those. We would. I had the soundtrack for the movie when it came out. We played that tape nonstop.
Yep.
I mean, who are you going to call whenever, even to this day, when I'm at my parents' house and Mom picks up the phone and say, "Hey, Mom, who are you going to call?" She'll say, "Ghostbusters." It's just that I would say from 86, that might have been when the cartoon came out, maybe 87. From 86, 87 to I'd say mid 90s.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was a huge thing in my house.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of Ghostbusters too?
The movie?
Yeah.
So I wasn't a big fan of Ghostbusters 2 until I got to college.
Okay.
Ghostbusters 1 I watched when I was real young. The library ghost scared the pee out of me. But I watched the whole rest of them. I've watched it. I could probably quote that movie just because I've watched it so much.
Yeah.
But what really got me into Ghostbusters was the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon.
The cartoon. Yeah, I remember the proton pack. My aunt, Gate, was given the mission of finding it, and she went around. My mom and her sister went around trying to find it, and they finally found one. And it was the one you put it on like a backpack, and then it's got the thing, and you push the button. But it had the yellow foam. Is that what you were talking about?
Yep, that's exactly what I was.
And you stuck it in the end, and you had to shake it to make it look like it was waving and stuff. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
that was the best back in the day.
Yep,
for sure.
It was, and the slime. It was, now kids are like, "Oh, slime is so cool."
Yeah,
the slime that came with Slimer and that with the firehouse smelled so nasty. And
it's true to the movie.
Yeah, it was green and icky and it's sticky and it got everywhere. It's rough and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's just awesome. Like I wish I still have, my mom still has one of my action figures, two of my action figures. She still has Egon at the house and she still has Janine. At the house. Now they're broken. I think Janine had her little tie.
Yeah.
And it's broken off, and you press her hand and the tie went up and her eyes bugged out and her hair went up. But and the girls love that. They're like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, you had no idea." So Carrie said, we got to talk about this for a second. Speaking of slime, have you talked about creepy crawlers yet?
I remember that. I don't know that I ever really played with creepy crawlers.
Had creepy crawlers.
Yeah.
That was my brother now. We played with it, but Jonathan had the oven. We had the little cookie cutter thing that you put in the oven, and you get all these nasty little insects that come out. And yeah, we had it. It was fun. It was my brother's thing, not mine.
Yeah.
So what was your next one? I saw Blair brought you something.
Oh, she did. I was just going to show you this one. And I know you guys in podcast land, guys and gals, can't see it. But this is a vintage Batmobile.
That is still at my house, at my parents' house.
The lights go up and down.
Right. Yeah. I can't. So is that the one that the front of it pops out and it's like a cow catcher? Yeah. So
like that. Yep. And in the back, it's got one in the back too, like that.
It's got the catcher. Yeah. So the one I've got, it still has that, but the cow catcher thing, you push it in, it won't stick.
It bounces back out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have a more pristine one than I have.
I do. I remember one of the things I remember playing with a lot too, while we're on the subject of cars, was I was a big Dukes of Hazzard fan when I was a kid. And so I had a ton of little ones, the little Ertl. Little Ertl ones, and then I had a big one that had a ramp and stuff, and the action figures for that. I remember playing with that a lot, and I remember I used to we had a brick house growing up, and I used to go to the windowsills, which were also brick, and they had the chrome on the front of those Dukes of Hazzard cars, and I used to love chipping away on those bricks because the inside of that chrome was brown. And I always thought it was so cool how it wasn't shiny all the way through. And so all of my Dukes of Hazzard cars, the front of them is just beat up because I like to get that chrome off of there. Who knew? I mean, who knows what I was thinking, right?
Who knows what you're thinking now?
Yeah. But the other thing I used to do with Hot Wheels cars is I would line them up, and I still do this with Aiden and Emma, is I would line them up in the foyer. We had a long foyer in our house. It was almost like a short hallway. And I would line them up and just roll them as hard as I could and just make huge crashes happen and stuff.
Really?
And I had a couple of those cars. I don't know if you remember, but they had the sides on them where when you bumped it, it would flip over and look like it was damaged.
Yes.
And I would hit those together. Yeah. So
have you thought about Micro Machines?
Oh, yes. I still have the Micro Machines Star Wars fan club box.
Really?
Sends you. It's got a Star Destroyer and a tiny Darth Vader. I still have that one somewhere around here. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was into Hot Wheels. I probably still have some around here somewhere, but we had all the like you said, the ramp, the Hot Wheels
Mhm.
track. We
Yep.
would set that up. We do the loop thing, and we would try different types of cars. There's actually a guy on TikTok now. You laugh at me, but there's a guy who on TikTok has made a track, and he'll put 3 cars up against each other every week and see which car goes fastest.
That's cool.
Dadgummit. And they have it's I sit there for hours and watch it because
Watch it, yeah.
that was my childhood.
You want me to tell you what you would love? And I think I saw Eric Terry in that picture he sent of his Ninja Turtles and all those things. He's
Right.
got a couple of them as Hot Wheels ID. Have you
Yeah.
seen these in the store? They
No.
have an RFID chip in them. And you connect your Hot Wheels track to this middle piece that has a RFID reader in it. And it'll time their laps and their
What?
speed. Oh, yeah. It times their laps.
Okay. What
And so
happened?
you can actually do that. So Aiden
What
got one of
happened?
those for Christmas, and they have Knight Rider and the Mystery Machine and all of these cars like the DeLorean and all this from our childhood. I'm introducing him to that stuff, and we're actually racing them against each other and stuff using the Hot Wheels ID.
So we've got to talk about this.
Yeah.
You bring up that, and this is probably going to be old man get off my lawn rant time. I
Whatever happened to toys that
Well,
you had to
no.
shake to move?
well, so who would have thought that the toys that made us would be an old man rant time?
Right.
But so Vance Cope made a good point in our group. He said, "Oh, when I was a kid, we had a rock and a stick."
Yep.
You know, for us back in the day, for us back in the day, we were fine. We were happy when we go outside, we find a stick long and sturdy enough that became a lightsaber.
Mhm.
You know, our imagination went wild. You know, we have another stick, we beat the living tar out of our brother or our friends, and we just played and played and played, and you know, we find things and use the imagination. But now they have an RFID chip in a Hot Wheels car,
Yep.
so you don't have to do the timing yourself. I'm trying to choose my words wisely because I'm not an old man. I'm not. I don't want to act that way. But
Too
what
late.
happened to imagination? Kids with imagination.
Yeah.
Because now they get told what story. They watch kids on YouTube having imagination, and then they go and play the imagination that the kid on YouTube told them to play.
Yeah.
So, am I wrong?
No,
am I
I think what's happened is that devices have. I was thinking about this because I knew this point would come up, and I think what's happened is that devices and games, like the video games and Roblox, and a lot of the things that kids have access to today, are built like Emma likes to play these games every now and then. We don't let her do it too much, but she loves to play with dolls and be the mom and push her dolls around. But
Yep.
then there are games, role-playing games on Roblox where you walk out and you're walking around and you say, hey, I'm going to make myself a baby and I want somebody to be my mom and somebody's your mom. And then, okay, let's go eat. And you're role-playing. So it's not like physical interaction. But what I'm saying is that a lot of the things that toys used to do for us, an iPad can do just as easily.
but
And I'm not
What
saying
is
that it's
that-
right. I'm not saying that it's right. What I'm saying is that there are different things that they have available to them at their disposal that don't do the imagination for them, but give them a much more stimulating way to role play out having lightsabers than a stick.
yeah,
It's all about dopamine, right? And when
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you're playing that game, and every time you click it, it makes that noise of the lightsaber. That dopamine rush hits you more than a stick would, because then you got to make the noise yourself.
but that's
And,
so
and
cool.
it's just shifted. I don't disagree. It's just shifted. It's
You know,
different.
your mom says, "Well, give them a stick." Okay, if I give my daughter a stick, she'll say, "What do I do with this?"
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
it's not. It's not that we can't just say, "All right, go out and get a stick," but
Yeah.
5 minutes later, say, "All right, I'm bored. What are we doing next?"
Yeah.
Like tonight, the other night, I actually told Ellie, I said, "All right, we're going to turn the TV off. We're just going to talk." And 5 minutes into it, Daddy, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored. What do we do? What do we do when there's no TV? You
Yeah.
know, just I hate to be old man. I hate to sound like my dad, but kids don't know what to do without entertainment
Sure.
shoved down their throats.
It's true.
And some of the toys that made me were probably the building blocks of that issue, that problem.
Yeah, it's true.
Because one of the toys that made me, I had all of those Tiger games, the handheld Tiger little games. I had Batman, I had Aladdin, I had DuckTales. You know what I'm talking about? Google it. It's those handheld one games.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because I almost bought one of the Rocketeers. Those Tiger games. Tiger used to make them. Yeah, yeah. I had that, and I had something from Radio Shack. Me and my dad used to play it called Tandy Space Shot, and literally it had a little joystick and a fire button on the side, and all it was you put the ship in one of 3 locations to shoot the thing as it was coming. And that's all it was. Yeah.
And but these little Tiger handheld games, like they make these beep 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 sound.
Oh, here you go. Electronic football.
Yes.
Best ever.
Best ever.
Best ever.
My dad used to always make me turn the sound off.
Yeah.
Because it annoyed the stew out of him when I was driving or when he was driving. So I wish I still had. I wonder if those things still exist.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do.
Really?
Some of the more popular ones, they're making them again and they sell them in specialty shops and stuff. But I know I still have my old electronic football game.
Really?
I still have that one. Yeah.
Jeffrey Martin says Tandy was the first computer he owned in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So, and then there was
you can date yourself by the first computer you owned and how much memory was in it.
I can't tell you how much memory was in it, but the first computer we owned was the Macintosh Classic. I want to say it had the square mouse and the one big button at the top. I don't remember what it was, but it was one of the first color Macs.
Yeah.
So
we had we got an IBM Aptiva, which was cutting edge at the time, dialing into CompuServe or whatever it was, Netscape, and it had 4 megabytes of RAM or something crazy like that. So yeah, man. So go ahead.
No, I was just going about megabytes of RAM. There's more power in my hand right now, which I'm holding my iPhone, than sent a man to the moon.
Exactly. That's why it never happened. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Okay.
But so while we're talking about video games, I think that's one of the things that was so cool about our generation and what a lot of people won't understand is we literally grew up with technology. Like it grew as we grew. They say come of age with our young nation in Hamilton. We came of age as technology was coming of age. I mean, Atari when we were 2 and 3, we played those games when we were real little.
I was going to make an argument that we weren't the first generation to have video games.
No, not the first, but it grew with us. Right when we were right in the prime age to play Nintendo, it came out. Right when we were the prime age to play Super Nintendo, a little bit more difficult game, it came out. Right as we were heading into college, Nintendo 64 came out with GoldenEye, and that's all we did all the time when I wasn't studying for a couple of years, And
you studied every time.
I know
every time.
We had a lot of fun. Come on. But as we grew, it grew with us. I mean, it started out, I wrote down Tecmo Super Bowl is still one of my favorite all-time Nintendo games.
Yep.
And I wish that, through the Switch and you can get a Nintendo Online and you can play a lot of old Nintendo games. And I wish that was one that they had was Tecmo Super Bowl. But I remember going to any trip you had, the Game Boy had to be in your backpack.
Yep.
You had to have the Game Boy when you traveled. And I had the magnifying glass that clipped on with the light and all that stuff, that crazy stuff.
See, I was Game Gear.
You were? Okay.
I was Sega.
Okay. But one thing I remember about Super Nintendo the most was I used to love going to Sears because in the kids department of Sears, they had a Super Nintendo with Mario Kart on it. And my mom used to go shop and I would stand there and I would just play Mario Kart for ages, man.
Yeah.
And I play it now on the Switch and it's like, holy cow. It's so easy, but back then it was challenging,
It was.
So
Jeffrey just dated himself. Jeffrey Martin. In college, we would have weekly Sega hockey tournaments in the dorms. Okay?
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's awesome, man.
In college, on Patey Hall, 4th floor, we would have Super Smash Brother tournaments.
Yeah.
And it was 4th South. We'd all gather in the room right before mine, the one right there at the front of the hall.
Yeah.
And we'd play for hours.
That's awesome.
Super Smash Brothers.
On a small TV.
On the small 13-inch TV. And then we'd go to, you and I and Clarence, I think, would go to your room and we'd play Blitz.
Blitz. Yep, that was a good one.
And you also had the pod racing game.
I did.
And I can't remember what else. GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was the big one. We played that so much where we memorized the maps. We could look at the other person's screen and tell. So we took coat hangers and a piece of cardboard, and someone had to sit on the top bunk and someone had to sit on the bottom bunk, so you couldn't see the other person's screen. Yeah, it was intense, man.
Yeah, it was intense. So one of the things that I was going to say that made me, I would say, I can't remember the year I got it, but Christmas one year, Papa and Meemaw bought me the Nintendo, the old NES Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was after it had been out for a while. And I immediately was glued.
Oh, yeah.
So much that Mom and Dad refused to buy me another system.
Wow.
Ever. So I didn't have another system until the Game Gear. And I played the Game Gear.
Sure.
And then when I got to college, Corey, my roommate, had the PlayStation. And then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Here you go. Vance Cope. So Vance is more of our age. Senior year of high school is when N64 was being released. He'd drive 35 minutes every day after school that he didn't have to work to the Toys R Us to play Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
So story about that. The real thing the first real like holy crap video game I remember was we'd go on baseball trips. And we had the N64. And this is when NWO, WCW, all of that was big. My buddy would bring his N64. We'd hook it up to the TV at the hotel. And he had WCW, NWO Revenge.
Yeah.
And that was the first wrestling game that you could really see characters and they moved in legitimate ways that the character would move. And I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world.
That's awesome.
But the actual game that I can remember just spending hours on at my house, which two of them, Mom and Dad first got the bright idea. Okay, if you're going to be stuck sitting here playing video games, then we're going to get you the Power Pad. and so we had the Power Pad, and it had all the Olympic sports on it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We would do the hurdling, we'd do the running, we'd do the triple jump, we'd do all of that. And we'd think, okay, we're getting our exercise in.
Yep.
And which you could work up a sweat doing those games.
Yeah. Did you ever grab the edge of the bed or the couch and then move your feet as fast as you could?
We had a little chest right behind it. We'd move the chest back, and I would sit on the chest. And, yeah, definitely. But then also, I had the Power Glove.
Oh, you had the glove, yeah?
I had the glove. And at the time, I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. But I never could get it to work.
Yeah.
Just, it was cool, but, it never worked the way I wanted to. But the game that I actually played that just hours upon hours, Roger Clemens Baseball.
I remember that one. I used to play that one a lot on the Game Boy. The Game Boy version of that one I played a lot.
Yep. And I'd always play with the A's because they didn't have the real roster, but they had M. Bash and J. Bash.
Nice.
The Bash brothers.
Yeah.
So, and then we get to, all my friends having the Super Nintendo and then King Griffey Baseball, which was the first real awesome baseball game.
Yeah. I can remember spending a lot of time junior high to high school-ish ages, like early high school, playing the Super Star Wars series when they came out with all three of those games with my friend Bert. And that's all we would do for whole days, when we didn't have school and stuff like that.
Jeffrey Martin says, all this talk, now I'm going to have to watch Ready Player One again.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
If you want to relive the 80s, just 80s and 90s, watch Ready Player One. It has all of these references in it.
Sure.
Steven Spielberg did an amazing job with that movie.
Yeah, he did. So I was thinking about video games when I was I have a whole list written down, of course, right?
Yeah.
Of all the things I wanted to make sure that I talked about. But how about board games?
So I wasn't a huge board game. I mean, we played them because we were always with the church youth group and we'd have some, Life was one that I played all the time.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. We play Sorry a lot now with the kids.
Yeah. Shoots and Ladders. Every kid played Shoots and Ladders. Candyland.
Did you ever play Fireball Island?
No.
Oh. We're going to have to see if we can find one of those and when we're together, play that. It was basically, instead of just, what was so cool about it, instead of just a flat two-dimensional board game. This
Yeah.
was actually a 3D molded map.
Okay.
And you had to go up the side of this mountain, and at the top there was this idol with a marble in his mouth and a jewel next to him. And the whole point was to go up to the top and you get the jewel, right?
You know
But if
what?
you-
That sounds familiar now that you're talking about it.
If you rolled a certain thing, the fireball had to go down, and you had to rotate it down whichever one you wanted to go to, and you pushed it. And if it hit one of the players' little tokens on the way down, they had to go back.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, I can't remember the name of it, but it had like little trucks. And it was the same idea, but you actually filled the map with water, so they had to go through the water, and
Oh,
it
that's
was a
cool.
lot of fun. Those kinds of things are really cool.
Your mom's impressed that you use the word talisman.
Talisman, that's what it was called. Yeah. But let
Yeah.
me tell you, never play Crossfire with my dad.
Oh, why not?
Never.
I love Crossfire.
Never. He will sit there and hoard the marbles and let you just pow, 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 and just shoot all your marbles. And then he's got like 50 marbles. And then he ends up winning. It took me a long time to learn that trick.
That's
A
funny.
long time.
That's great. So yeah, we played Risk, we played Stratego or whatever it was called.
Stratego, yeah.
Yeah, Stratego. I was one of the weird ones that actually figured that one out. But my grandmother and grandfather had my dad's old board games at his house. So it was all these 60s board games that,
Sure.
Life, all those games I mentioned earlier, that it was the original run of them.
Yeah.
And they had all those games, and it, had masking tape over it and all the
Of
pieces.
course.
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember Life. You had to take the little spinning wheel out
Mhm.
to put it in, and that little
Little
tallywhacker
flapper.
got broke so much
Oh,
that
yeah.
they had duct taped it
Oh, yeah.
down. So
Yeah.
it just memories of playing that growing up.
Well, and even, you talk about making your own fun when we were little. We played Yahtzee a lot when I was
Yeah.
growing up. And I remember, I think it was such a crowning achievement of my young life at the time that I can remember sitting in my Aunt Linda's house watching The Price is Right during the summer. And I had because, you always roll the dice in the top of the box for Yahtzee, right?
Right.
And I was just sitting there playing one by myself. And I had gotten a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 5. So I was going for a large straight, right?
Right.
And I rolled it. And not only did I roll a 3, it slid right into the space between the 2 and the 4. And it was all in line. I went nuts. 7-year-old me went nuts. Nuts. I
Of
still
course,
remember it to
there's
this day.
Of course, there's no video of it anywhere.
No, there's no way. No, we didn't have any phones or anything. Nobody saw it but me.
Right.
you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of phones, I saw a video today, actually. It's a TikTok of all things. Going back 2020 years, going back to 1990, somebody, because you're too young, bringing your iPhone 11 and saying, hey, check this out. This is a phone. How would you describe what you're holding in your hand to your dad in 1990?
To my dad.
Yeah.
Hey,
you
you can make phone calls on this. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah. Well, but then they'll say,
et cetera.
but then they'll say it doesn't even have buttons.
Yeah.
It's just that's how far, and that's why I think that old man, get off my lawn rant again. That's why I think even you and I don't think we could live back in the 80s and 90s. As much as we romanticize the 80s and 90s, we've gotten so accustomed to having everything at our fingertips. Look at the last 6 months. What, we can't have anything at our immediate, I need this now. We freak out.
Yeah.
If I go 15 minutes with the Wi-Fi out at my house, I feel like I'm in Git mode.
Yeah. But the reason is because everything's reliant on that Wi-Fi now. Back then, we didn't have Wi-Fi, but the phone was all landline and the TV was over the air. There was no cable, or if you did have cable, it wasn't connected to the internet because there was no internet. So if you lost one thing, it didn't take everything out. But if you lose Wi-Fi, you can't connect to your thermostat, which due to the Wi-Fi issue, evidently I was having earlier, our thermostat's been offline. It's getting really hot in here, but it's like, you can barely cool your house or find out what's going on in the news. And it's like, we've centralized ourselves down to one form of technology kind of ruling everything. That of course you freak out. What?
Skynet.
It's become
It's
self-aware.
here. I am here to take you.
So I do. I'll tell a funny story. Turtle Shell
Okay.
game. My dad commented on that. So I actually have that version of that game now too. Here, I've been trying to play it with the kids till they were the right age, because it's basically very simple game. There's turtle shells in the middle of the table, one fewer than the number of players, and you throw cards down. And anytime the cards match, everybody has to grab a turtle shell.
Right.
And young me didn't have the cat-like reflexes of my dad yet, and he would always win that game. And I can remember reaching out for that turtle shell and landing on top of his hand and just hitting his hand like this and storming off and crying in my room over that game. And you know what?
Goodness.
I wouldn't trade anything for that.
For crying?
I see it. Well, I see it with my kids now when we play things like Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Or I'm trying to think, we were doing something the other day when sometimes we play these games online with each other, where you have to like hide and seek little games and stuff, and on Sorry, you draw the Sorry card, you play it, and I'm sorry, you're going to go back to start.
And
that's part of life.
You have to say, sorry.
Exactly. That's part of life, and that shapes us into who we were. We knew what it felt like to lose. And we knew how crappy that felt, and we didn't want to feel it anymore. So we got good at things. And I think that's part of what's missing from the younger generation today. If I can go on my old man rant about that. Yes.
Do you know where I'm going when you say we know what it felt like to lose?
Last week?
No. Do you know what is the downfall of the younger generation and why they are all snowflakes?
Why?
Upwards sports.
Sports.
We're not taught that you can win and lose.
Look, nobody ever, if you have a kid that loves football or a kid that loves soccer, they're not playing upward sports for 5-10 years of their young sports career. They're doing it for a year to develop skills, and then they go get competitive. Upward sports is not intended to be what you do for 5-10 years. T-ball is only 1 year out of 7 or 8 you may play baseball. You have to develop the skills.
We learned to lose in T-ball.
Okay.
We kept score in T-ball.
I didn't play T-ball. I just jumped straight to coach pitch.
Well, but still, that's the problem. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's a winner here. Have a medal.
Yeah.
No, I would have taken that medal and ripped it up. You don't deserve this. You
would have ripped up a medal?
If your kid didn't deserve it?
That you're pretty strong. If you ripped up a medal. Yeah, so my old man rant is I have a thing about toys. And Funko Pops are a microcosm of my old man rant about toys. Can you tell all the listeners why you're growling and saying dadgummit every 5 minutes?
Okay, sorry. If you're watching, you will see it. But on the podcast land, for some reason, my green screen is not playing well with my my little spit cover thing here on my mic. So I'm having to move and get back in the shot.
So my old man rant, like I said, Funko Pops is a microcosm. I think of that. But adults, particularly our generation, has a incredible opportunity to introduce everything we did as a child to our children. Because every video game we played is available online now. Every toy we did, they're releasing new versions of it. They're redoing every movie. They're redoing even music and stuff like that. We have the opportunity to do that. But what adults tend to do is overcomplicate it. And you look at baseball. I'm going to use baseball as an example. When we played, there were travel teams and all-star games and all of this. But now there's Facebook ads popping up on my feed when I just look up like a baseball score for you can teach your 8-year-old how to have perfect swing form with this little tool. And it's like just overcomplicate the crap out of it.
Yep.
And what we've done with toys, action figures used to be awesome, man. I would take my G.I. Joes and that little rubber band that hooked into the bottom of them.
Oh, it made me so mad when they snapped, though.
I would take that thing and go in with tweezers and pull it out, and I'd shoot them with rocket launchers so they actually flew apart. Like I took it out on purpose. Like you could do things with them. But you look at I'm going to use, and it really irritated me bad enough where several years later it still bothers me. When they came out with Man of Steel, the Superman movie, you had a perfect opportunity to do some retro toys, man. It's just Superman. He's in his suit the whole time. You could I remember having a Superman toy where there was this ring that looked like kryptonite that had a magnet in it. And if you moved it close to Superman, they were the same pole. The magnet in his chest was with the ring, and it would knock him backwards because he's, kryptonite is bad for him, right?
Right.
But the action figures were like Superman in a fire suit, Superman in a steel suit, Superman in an electricity suit. And it had nothing to do with the movie. It had nothing to do with anything that Superman's ever done. And so action figures now are this weird kind of toy that nobody really wants. You know?
And so here's the deal. I think it's our generation that screwed it up. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Because it's people like me and Eric and Carrie, and I'll admit this, and I think my friend Logan Sekulo has admitted this as well. We don't buy toys now to play with.
No.
We buy toys and keep them, I know Eric and Carrie keep them in the packaging.
Yeah.
And I mean, I let my Funko Pops breathe, and they're not, you don't play with Funko Pops, but there are people, I know Eric does this. He will buy, and Eric, I'm not faulting you for this, but because this is what you do, but they'll buy these toys and keep them and hang them up still in the packaging.
Yeah.
So kids don't know how to play with toys anymore.
You're disappearing like Back to the Future. It's hilarious. It literally looks like Back to the Future. But, I did that when I was in high school. I collected, when they came out with, not Seasons of the Force. That was at Disney World. I can't remember. The Power of the Force, the Star Wars action figures they came out with. And then when the first trilogy started, or the prequel trilogy started, they came out with those too. And the cool thing for me,
the market.
They did. But the cool thing for me about those was that, I'm old enough now where I'm in college. They're coming out with all these new action figures. I'm going to collect the heck out of these things because they would mess up the lightsabers. And so sometimes Palpatine would have a green lightsaber. And so you got to go find the variant, And that's what got me into toy collecting in a way. But if they came out with that today, we would do the same thing, right?
Well,
But here's the problem with today.
Funkos, I do.
But, okay, I have 3 words for you. The Black Series.
Yep.
I mean, literally Star Wars action figures now are made for collecting and nothing else. The Black Series, right? But the problem is, other than that, there are no toys worth playing with because everything's either Funko Pops or toys that weren't even in the movie, like Superman in an electricity suit, or Mash'ems, those little rubber things with liquid inside of them and stuff, or blind bags. It's these weird things that aren't toys that you can play with. You open, even Mash'ems. Yeah, LOL, and even LOL, it's like, which one did I get? It's about the surprise, and then it's like, I'm not going to play with this anymore. Or this one's a duplicate, it's going to go in a drawer.
Right, exactly.
And it's just that old blister pack of, hey, there's Duke that I've been looking for, or Cobra Commander. I know which one I'm getting. I'm going to open it and play with it. Those days are gone because now Cobra Commander is 6 inches tall with a really shiny chrome helmet and really real fabric clothes, and kids don't play with that. It's just this weird. It's weird, man.
I am at fault for this. I mean, people have seen my toy den. My I'll say toys because that's what y'all are calling it now. But y'all have seen my Funko Pop collection.
Yeah,
I got furious when I saw Harper walking out and holding one of them.
Oh,
you don't play with? Well, they're my collection. So it is. It's it's our generation that has screwed up toys.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, I took every Star Wars action figure I still have, this Batmobile, anything that I have still from when I was young, they're in Ben's and Aiden's closet. And he has free reign to play with whichever one of those he wants to. Yep. I don't care if they break. Because let me tell you, Beanie Babies all taught us one thing. It's the same lesson we're going to learn from Funko Pops, right? Is that they're not worth anything, and they'll never be worth anything. They'll never be worth anything. But the thing about Funko Pops is, yes, you have poppriceguide.com, but nobody's trying to create a secondary market where these things are like, except for like your really super rare ones, right? It's almost to that point.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying them for the resale value. I'm buying
not
them
either
because they're like, I have Smokey and the Bandit, one of my favorite movies, which was actually, I found out the other day, on at the same time as Return of the Jedi, which was the first movie I ever saw in a theater. And so the Funko Pops are like little pieces of memories.
It's exactly what they are.
Whereas a Beanie Baby was just literally like, it's going to sit here on a thing and stare at you all day.
Yeah. Like Carrie buys Funko Pops and collections to completion. Like he's a completionist.
Okay.
I buy Funko Pops of things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Like I've got the most hodgepodge Funko Pop collection there is.
Yep.
But I've got all of the Anchormans. I
Yeah.
mean, I can quote the Anchorman movie for you.
Yeah.
That's important to me. I've got a lot
Yeah.
of Star Wars, a lot of Disney, a lot
Sure.
of wrestling, history, sports.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking at mine. I've got like Marty from Back to the Future 2 in
Yep.
the silver hat with the clothes, because I remember going to Pizza Hut when Back to the Future 2 came out so that I could get those sunglasses, the crazy
Right.
red and yellow ones that went out to a point. I mean, it's like
Yep.
that's part of our childhood. You know, it means something, and it's a story that goes along with it. So
right,
I don't
exactly.
have a problem with Funko Pops, but what we have done as a generation to the toy market as a whole is just a shame.
messed
But
with.
thank God for Lego.
Yes,
Lego
that's the
will never
one.
change.
We are ending on. Well, there's two that we need to end on.
Okay.
Because you mentioned it a little bit, but there are two that I think shaped every male, at least every male. Legos, which we just bought Ellie one. I bought the Steamboat Mickey
Mhm.
Lego set. I need to put it together because that's
Yep.
going to be one of my. I'll definitely display that one.
Yep.
And we just bought Ellie just a beginner set.
Mhm.
Legos, which they go all the way from Legos and Duplos. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Anything builder block, and GI Joe.
Mhm.
I think those two are the thing that we can say definitely shaped us.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's gotten so cool about Lego now is that there are sets out there that I can do with Aiden and Emma, and we love doing them together. And then there's things like the Hogwarts Castle that are a little more advanced, that are probably out of, not just the attention span, but the finger skills of a
Right.
6-year-old, and that me and Blair enjoy doing that kind of stuff together.
Yep.
And it's Lego. It's not plural with an S.
I just
By the
got a text from Amanda. She's telling me she also got a NASA set. So I have to also say,
There you go.
yeah.
I have to get the Nintendo set though, with the
Oh,
TV.
Yep.
That's
one
of
of our listeners, Brandon Rice, got it, and he put it together, and it actually has a scrolling Mario scene that'll just go. It's hilarious.
and the cartridge fits in the console, and it springs down and snaps back up.
Yep.
It's too cool.
Yep. That is just too cool. All right.
Yep.
And you've got a long evening or long morning, early morning.
Early morning, yes.
So we need to, I think we're under an hour this week. This
was a good talk though. I enjoyed this.
This is great. This is
Yeah.
fun. This isn't one of our normal episodes. We even actually got a rant, a couple of rants.
Can I ask you real quick before we move off the topic and start to wrap up real quick? I
Uh-oh.
cannot remember the name of these things for the life of me, but I
Okay.
remember it. It was a little blue plastic, basically almost like a record player, but it was about the size of a Game Boy. The clear cover popped open, and then you put these plastic discs inside of them. That was Mel Allen telling stories about baseball players
I don't
and like old radio broadcasts of moments in baseball and stuff like that. And you would literally pop this plastic disc in, close it, and turn it on, and it would turn and read it from underneath like a record. Do you remember? Did you ever see those?
No, but I
Okay.
need that because that is
Yeah.
right up my alley.
If anybody knows the name of those, I cannot remember for the life of me what they were called. So
That
they were
is
super
right
cool.
up my alley. I need
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
And the other thing we got to talk about, just did you ever collect anything? I know you're a numismatist, but were you
I
a
am.
numismatist back then?
yes, my dad had sets of pennies and nickels, like books and things like that we collected. What I actually have a full set of from the 80s is baseball coins that used to come.
Coins?
They're little double-sided metal stamped things that are baseball coins. I'll take a picture of them and send them to you. But they used to come in packs, like you buy them in packs of 3, and they'd have a piece of bubble gum in them, kind of thing.
Huh.
You buy them at like the gas station or something. You remember they used to have the big sticker albums for
Right.
movies and stuff? They were in that kind of a thing, and I've got the
Okay.
little folding album and all that stuff, and they're all in there. So
Huh.
coins have always been my jam.
I was a baseball card collector, big time.
Yeah.
In fact,
I have some baseball cards too. Yeah,
I've still got my 80s and 90s collection.
that's cool.
Unfortunately, Dad bought me all these. Like I've got 4 or 5 complete sets,
Yeah.
but because of the 90s, they oversaturated the market, and those aren't even worth the cardboard they're printed on.
No, they're not. Well, what I did enjoy collecting in Upper Deck packs when they used to have the holograms.
Yep,
And I have a full Major League Baseball team set of those.
that's
Used
cool.
to love finding those.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This would be a great week for the Virgil Ask the Question, but I don't think we have time. You don't have it queued up.
I have it queued up. It's right here.
Okay. Well, since we talked about it, we will end on Virgil Ask the Question.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, shoot. Hang on. Speaker.
This is for all you new numismatists out there. This coin was authorized by Ronald Reagan in 1985. The front or obverse side of the coin is an interpretation of the 1966 through 1947 Walking Liberty half dollar. The U.S. Mint describes a portrayal as an ever hopeful Lady Liberty striding confidently toward the sunrise, draped in the strength of the stars and stripes, carrying in her arms branches of laurel and oak to symbolize both civil and military glory. Also shown are the inscriptions Liberty, and God We Trust, and the year. The original designer Adolph A. Wiseman's initials are seen on the hem of Lady Liberty's gown. What coin is this? Thanks, guys. Can't wait for the next podcast. Bye.
I know.
Was it just a Wiseman coin?
What's that?
Was it just called a Wiseman coin?
Yeah, it's the silver American Eagle.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
have the gold one. The gold one, she's walking like out of the coin, and then the silver one where she's got the flag and she's got the branches in her arms. She's walking like right to left, and it's a silver American Eagle.
Okay.
Which I got to have a gold one, by the way. That's going to complete my collection one day.
Well,
One day. Any last minute birthday gift ideas anybody has out there?
Your birthday is actually, you will be 40 the next time we record.
I will be. That is accurate.
Oh,
Yeah.
sad.
Oh, it's
all
not.
right.
It's just a number.
It's just a number. You just don't act it. All right. Well, guys, that's our show. Adam, if they want to tell us the toys that made them, no one's ever called in.
I know.
What's the number?
650 UAB show. Definitely lines available because, like you said, nobody calls in. 650 UAB show. Give us a shout. You'll hear a message and then a beep. Leave us your message after that beep, and we will play it on the show and discuss it. And if you don't want to call and you'd rather post on the socials, how can they do that, Dave?
So on the Facebooks, you can find us. We are facebook.com/unrelatedatbirth. Find the Facebook fan group. If you're not part of the group, why not? We post a lot in there.
That's true.
This is where we chat. In fact, Adam says he thinks I don't work.
Oh, I know you work.
Just he thinks I work on the podcast, not Boeing. But just search for the Unrelated at Birth Facebook listeners group or fan group. I don't remember what we called it, but it's there. It's fun. We have a lot. Every Friday, I usually post a fun Friday meme. And it's just awesome to talk and have fun with everybody. That's where Adam and I really interact with everybody.
Yep.
Then also on Twitter, I am at DAdams419. He's at Runtide Run when he's got his Twitter activated. The show is at Not Related Bros. Instagram, we are both the same. DAdams419, Runtide Run. And the show is Unrelated Birth. Guys, we say it every week too. There is the Patreon, patreon.com/unrelatedbirth, $5 a month. You don't have to do it, but we are going to start doing some more Patreon stuff. I think we got one thing we're going to do at least once a month.
Yep.
Anytime we have a guest, we'll have some extra time on Patreon with the guest. It's basically, I think we'll do some lives from patreon.com when we are all together at Universal. We'll do it on the Facebook group as well, but we'll do more on Patreon. So you will have some extra access to us. I don't know. I mean, it's fun. That's what we do. So, but anyway, guys, I will say this. I said this on Top of the World last week. There are people that, for me personally, that spend over 3 hours a week listening to my voice. Blows my mind. I'm just Dave Adams. And the fact that y'all spend this much time with me each week, it means something to me. And so I really do appreciate it. I know Adam's making fun of me over there, but it means something to him too. So guys, we love you. And we mean that. It's not just a little saying. We love each and every one of you that spend time listening to us and interacting with us. Adam, take them home.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. This was a really fun week. I appreciate everybody contributing their thoughts on Facebook and then commenting along the way. This was a good topic, way to be reminiscent. Very nice, much needed conversation for everything that's going on in the world to remember some good times. So thanks to everybody for that. Be kind to each other. We love you, but not as much as Jesus does. Don't forget that, guys, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.
All right, I found it.
Carrie says it's Mel Allen's baseball game. It actually had a board game that went with it.
No, it is this.
Okay.
It is this.
Oh, look at that.
Talking baseball cards.
Okay.
So you put the card, and on the back of this card was a little basically like a reverse record. You'd stick it in there and turn it on, and it would talk.
Huh.
And there was some like this that was the baseball players, they would talk, and then some of them were like announcers talking about what the games were like and stuff like that.
That's cool. Wendy joined us tonight.
Oh, hey.
And now she's saying bye. Howdy. It's only 8:00 for Wendy.
Exactly. She just finished supper.
Supper.
Do
you think Wendy could get the chef that makes the cheese dip on our show?
She already did. Well, not on the show, but she already put the debate to bed. So
I know.
What if we could get the chef to call in?
That would be great. That would be great.
See, okay, wait. My bad, guys. Eric says, I had a phone call. That's why you ain't on this week, man.
Right.
You're either all in or you're all out.
There you go. Eric, you are all out and you are not all elite this week.
Out.
Did he win this week under the all elite?
Man.
Did you lose?
Man, my team, Mark Ingram and one of my wide receivers got 2 points apiece. I scored like 86. So yeah.
Wow.
And that did not work out well for me. I don't like fantasy football. I just like the camaraderie. Oh yeah. Eric said family thing. I know. Yep. Thanks for making me feel bad.
Well, I'll talk to you about it later. No, I'm just kidding. So we said we were going to do something fun after the show too.
All right.
Who wants to ride a roller coaster with us?
Want to ride a roller coaster?
So, Vance, your team did great. We need next year. We're going to have an unrelated to birth fantasy group.
That sounds good.
Patreon only? No, just kidding.
It depends.
If we have enough patrons, then we. All
right, here we go.
All right,
let me make it big enough where everybody can see it.
That's what she said.
Okay, here we go. I'm ignoring that. Let me share my screen. And is this the one right here?
See. Carrie, you still with us? Here we go.
Ooh, so foreboding.
Turn it up.
That's all the way up. How's that?
I can barely hear it, but
all right. Let me start it over and try again. Hang on. My screen share is not being very nice today, Dave.
No, it's not. How about we do this? Let's get rid of that. So when you share it, we need that.
Man,
let's get rid.
What in the world?
What happened? What are you?
So I clicked, instead of clicking the link, I clicked the video, and it was playing in my ears, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It was from the text message. Oh man, that was bad. Okay,
that's funny.
Right, let me screen share one more time. Chrome tab, Velocicoaster, share audio, share. All right, how's that?
There we go. Yes, Jeffrey, it's the Jurassic Park coaster. It's at Universal.
Oh, and look, there's Tim Tracker eating a donut.
Oh, look at that.
Hello, I'm Tim Tracker, and I'm eating a donut.
Tim the Tracker here.
Hey-o. So I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, in the ride vehicle. I know this is just a concept, and I know they don't want to do too many things the same.
Right.
But wouldn't Owen Grady's motorcycle have made a lot of sense?
Definitely.
I mean, maybe they're still going to do that. Who knows? But then everybody would be like, "Oh, it's just a copy of Hagrid's."
Right next to it. Is it the same company that made Hagrid's?
I mean, it doesn't go upside down.
Yes, it does.
It does not go. Well, it has a corkscrew, but it doesn't have a loop.
Dude, that's upside down for multiple seconds.
It doesn't have a loop, though.
No, but you're upside down hanging right
Oh,
there.
you are. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why they can't do a motorcycle then. It looks so smooth, though. That's what I like about it. Give me fast, smooth roller coaster any day.
Like, I have to ride this.
Oh, yeah. Dilophosaurus. I think that's what it reminds me of Hagrid's, is just the speed,
Yeah. Like, is that going to be... Ah! Like, watch this. Like, that takeoff?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, you're going to love Hagrid's, man.
I know.
It's going to be so awesome.
Oh, my gosh. Jeffrey Martin, put it in a tube and shoot everyone through one of those sphere pinball style.
Sure.
Yeah.
See, I think
Dude.
those are the Velociraptors that a lot of people are seeing, are the
Yeah.
stationary ones in the ride.
Yeah.
My hope is that there are some
Right
cool
here,
ones
right
like
here.
before
Watch this.
that.
This drop.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Right here, you're upside down.
Oh, that's cool.
I have to ride this at night.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The only thing I don't like about this, and this is what I don't like about Universal. This is just me. This is my stupidity here. But I don't like that when I'm on this ride, I'll be able to see all of IOA.
Yeah.
I want to be able to stay in, like the way Disney does it, you stay in your own land.
Well, Disney doesn't have any outside roller coasters like this. And that's why.
They do. Yes, they do.
Well, I mean, Big Thunder Mountain, but that's tucked all the way in the corner.
Big Thunder, but then you've also got it at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, but you can see all of Orlando
Everest.
from
Yeah, you
Everest.
can see all.
I mean,
Right, but they keep you where you are at those peaks. You don't have as much view around like you will on this coaster.
that's true. Yeah, and Iowa's a lot tighter park anyway.
Yeah,
But what I do think is cool about this one is how they've taken advantage of the space. And yeah, I mean, as soon as you walk in, it kind of blocks the view of the Discovery Center,
right.
especially now that they've taken all those trees down. But I mean, I think that given the natural features of the park, the big lagoon and everything, they've kind of fitted in really well where I think it's going to be a good experience.
Yeah,
So that looks really cool.
It really will.
Yeah.
See, but that's also the one thing they did well with Harry Potter at Universal, not IOA. Harry Potter at Universal is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Once you get back in Diagon Alley, you can't see anything else.
No, you can't.
But Hogsmeade, you can still see every bit of that park, and I think that's just because of how.
From where?
Well, as soon as you get out, like if you get on Hagrid's, can you not see around? Or if you get on the Flight of the Hippogriff, you can see the rest of IOA.
I mean, for the climb and the initial hill of Hippogriff, you can, but once you go down, you really can't. But Hagrid's is a very low roller coaster. It's very low and very fast. And you can't really see a lot outside of it.
Okay.
It feels pretty self-contained.
Yeah, that's what I wish they. I wish that they would. I don't know if they can now because of how it's built, but I wish Universal would do more self-contained stuff.
Yeah, they just can't. I mean, for especially for a ride like Velocicoaster, with where it is, there's no way you're going to shield it from being able to see Marvel Superhero Island. And if you did, you wouldn't have any drops. You wouldn't have any height to it. it would all
Right.
be just very, very low to the ground. You know, whereas
Right.
Hagrid's being off where it is where Dueling Dragons was, you know, it's almost like Big Thunder. It's pushed away in the corner,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
yeah.
Carrie says, I'm just happy we're finally getting phase 2 of the Dragons replacement. Yeah, Hagrid is cool, but we lost 2 very fun and unique coasters when Dragons
true.
went away.
That's
Glad
true.
to finally have that ultimate thrill ride back at the park.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
I still don't see any. I mean, yeah, that's going to be cool, thrilling, but I don't know. Maybe I've gotten complacent in my old age. There's not a true thrill ride that makes me catch my breath like Superman or Batman at Six Flags.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, because Six Flags is very campy. It's stupid. It's not a good theme park, but it has those thrill rides that make you catch. Like I almost black out on Batman when you go around. Yeah.
Yeah. That first loop right after the drop, that really
Right.
tight, almost like egg-shaped loop. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's nothing like that at Universal or Disney.
Well, part of it's demographics. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot of families, but I think the other part of it is, I mean, Hulk is close to it. Rip Ride Rocket is close to it. Like those are really, really good roller coasters, but people don't come here for that. But you do have Busch Gardens. I mean, Busch Gardens is probably
That's
the
true.
closest thing. Manta at SeaWorld is probably pretty close to that. And I
Yeah.
would even say Mako. Mako, just because Mako's nothing but a gravity coaster. Like Sandusky, Ohio,
That's
Kings
what
Island.
we need to do.
Yeah.
So we need to have an unrelated at birth Sandusky, Ohio trip.
Yeah, Kings Island or Kings Point,
Duke-
whatever it is.
Yeah,
You know,
Duke, yeah.
yeah. But that I mean, if you ride Mako,
Or Cedar
it's-
Falls, isn't it?
Cedar Point, that's what it is.
Yeah, Cedar Point. Yeah.
But if you go ride Mako at SeaWorld, it's nothing but a gravity coaster. Like Great American Scream Machine was just up and down,
Yeah.
up and down, up and down. But there are some bank turns, but it's a very narrow track, and you almost feel exposed on the ride.
Isn't
And
Mako
so-
the one that did the VR for a while?
No, that was I can't remember the name of it. The one with the eels in the queue and the eggs.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Kraken. It was Kraken right next
Okay.
to that. But Mako like exposes you so much with a very small restraint and a very narrow car and all of that it feels more thrilling than it actually is. So a lot of the places down here will just let the design, like Hulk's launch. You're not
Right.
expecting that the first time you ride it. And so they catch you in other ways, you
Yeah.
know. So
That's true. And
Yeah.
then you can just ride the Seuss roller coaster.
the trolley in the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cute, man.
Oh, it's
The star-bellied Sneeches. Come on.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, next time you talk to Adam, he'll be 40.
That's right.
So yeah, let's all have fun and wish him a over the hill birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Anyway, dude, this would be the first time in 3 years I haven't been down to Orlando on your birthday.
That's right.
Stupid COVID.
I know, right?
All right. Well, all right, Facebook and YouTube. We will talk to y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.